So Victor, please join me on the stage here. And Victor is going to talk about product-led storytelling. So his talk is 9 practical steps to acquire SaaS users with storytelling. So let's get into the SaaS context over here. Victor, send proof of life. There we go.
Can everybody?
All right, Victor. Welcome. Take it away.
Sure. Hello? Can everybody hear me? Hello? Just let me hear someone say they can hear me. So I'm Victor, and yeah, I'm gonna be talking about SaaS because of course that's my expertise. So give me a minute. Let me just pull up my slides here. So I'm gonna start here. This was this like a message one of our clients sent us just last week, just when I was preparing for this talk today. He was like, "Hey, Vic, good news is Omar, his sales guy, was able to close 2 out of 3 clients." So let me just give a little backstory. So the company here is Honeycat, and they've been existing since 2018. They launched, did a lot of Facebook ads, and they were sending cold traffic to people. The only thing they could write home from all those efforts was that they amassed an email list of about 1,000 people. So when we started working with them, like early this year, we looked at what they had and said, okay, these guys weren't qualified because from what we see, they didn't even know about the product. So we started creating content using what I'm going to share here with you today. And things that never happened before, like each time we release a new content piece and we send it to that audience, it was like, hey, 5 people read the content, they signed the demo, and they signed up. So what we observed is that the people who didn't sign up or who didn't end up using the product didn't read the articles very well. And trust me, this is nothing new at all. You may not know Andrew Wu, but I bet you know Tim Swallow. So in 2018, Tim Swallow was in an interview with Lead Feeder. They asked him, hey, have you been able to grow the company to $40 million ARR? And it was like, yeah, for most new users, when they sign up, they tell me, I read your articles, I saw how you use RS for this, and this made me to sign up. So the point I'm driving home here is that content is a real customer acquisition tool. The problem is that most SaaS companies don't know how to wield the power of content to acquire customers, and that brings me to myself. So I'm Victor. I'm the lead strategist of Victor Eduoh Consulting. Yeah, I'm happily married. That's my wedding suit there, just to crack you up a bit. So I consider myself a reader and a thinker. Then I developed the frameworks I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to be talking about today the SaaS content strategy framework, where we use to build authority for clients, and then product-led storytelling, which we use to execute that authority that we've built. And today I'm going to be showing you 9 practical steps to acquire SaaS users with storytelling. So we call it product-led storytelling. Other people call it product-led content marketing, but I choose to call it product-led storytelling because the most important thing that makes people read content to the end is if the content engages them. And for a content piece to engage somebody, there has to be a little bit of storytelling that resonates with them. So that brings me to this slide. So everything I'm going to teach you today is how we've grown my company from the past 1 year to working with some of the biggest SaaS companies like you can ever mention. So they just read my articles. You can see this review. Hey, Victor, I loved your article. I'm the growth head of this, and can we work together? If I open my DMs, you see lots of this. So what I'm going to show you today is practical information. It works for SaaS companies. It works for B2B companies. So the first thing where you want to start is you must know your broader audience, but you must write for one person. I say this because you go online, so many people want to write content and they're trying to write for everybody, they're trying to please everybody. They're trying to write for their demographics. And don't take my words for it. Sonia Simeon of Copy Blogger said, demographics are just a collection of traits. They come in real handy. Like, you can read the rest when I send the slides to you. But the bottom of the story is this. only one person reads your content at a particular time. So it's better you're writing for that one person who would find your product very useful than trying to write for everybody at the same time. This is the first thing. This is the first thing you must nail if everything I'm going to be showing you today is going to work for you. So you break your audience, you know your target audience, you break them into different segments, and then you just picture one person in that segment you're writing for. So for a SaaS company, maybe targeting CEOs, maybe targeting head of growth, maybe targeting CMOs. So you just take it, just picture one person in your mind. In this case, let me say I'm writing a content piece, and my person who's going to find that content very helpful is Pipelaja. I'll just think of Pipelaja and write that content as if I am writing it for him. I'm not trying to write it for the demographic of CEOs. When you do that, we now get to step one. And step one is your content's headline must make the person you're writing for an inviting or valuable promise. So we know that SaaS there's the crowd space is very, very crowded. But notwithstanding, people still want great products that help them. And not just people just want great product, they want great content that tells them how to use those products to solve their problems. So if your content headline can make your ideal customer a promise that, hey, if you read this content piece, I'll show you how to do this or how to do that, they'll always want to click, because of course, who doesn't want valuable content? When you do that, the second thing is use relatable and contextual storytelling to engage, filter, and align. Now, if you nail the very first thing I introduced very well, you find out that you have one person at the back of your mind when you start creating your content. And because you do, you will tell them a story that will engage them and pull them in. And you're not trying to impress everybody. You're just trying to create a content piece for this one person you have in mind. If the content piece doesn't suit someone else, when they come, they should be able to just look at it from the introduction and say, okay, this one is not for me. Okay, this one is for SaaS founders. Okay, this one is for CMOs. It's not for sales reps, as the case may be. And when you do that, the person you're trying to create that content piece for will find it very helpful. The third thing is, immediately you've been able to engage them. Your title is a hook. Your first introduction, which is the second step, is to engage them and to make them realize that, hey, this content piece is for them. The next thing is that you want to show them that, hey, you're not going to waste their time. This is possible. Like, this content piece you're about to read is possible. Maybe other people have been able to use this product or achieve the same thing I'm about to show you. Once you do that, you move up again to the next step. Now, at this point, some people may want to explore the product, and I'll pull up some real life examples of how we apply this process in creating content for SaaS companies. Some people may want to check out the product. Some people may want to leave the content piece and go to something else at that time. That's where you bring in storytelling again. But again, keeping the person you're creating the content for. You had your own point of view, facts, quotes, whatever you would add to that content piece to engage them further. That's what you do in the fourth step. In the fifth step, this is where the real magic work. You walk the talk. So you visit a lot of B2B and SaaS content pieces these days, and what you see is, so many explanation of ideas, so many, jargon about how they are an authority and how their product, but you don't see the product itself, solving the problems for the end user. So you just read so many, marvelous ideas, and then at the end of the day, you're confused. So in the fifth step, if you promise me you're going to show me how to use Livestorm, for example, which we're using here for this presentation to do better live videos, and I'm reading that content piece, I should be able to see how to click on the button, how to share my screen, how to answer a question, how to moderate an event. By the time you do that, if that is what I wanted to do, I would see the product solving the problem for me. And that's where the product-led storytelling. So the product leads the story. You don't just say this, and you just leave it. So you take screenshots of the product, you show me how to set up everything I want to set up. And the most important thing is you're doing all those things with your product. Again, as you're doing that, don't forget that some people may get bored and want to leave. So you continue throwing in storytelling and anything that you know you'll be able to inject into your content piece to ensure that it guides the reader further down. Once you've gone through these first 6 steps, and if you notice, my slide is changing from red, yellow, and green, and you're going to find out very soon why is that. So once you've been able to show them from the 5th and 6th step with relatable stories how to actually solve the problem or achieve the goal you're trying to sell them with your content, you need to show them that, hey, you need to show them outcomes. You need to show them testimonials. You need to show them reviews that shows that this thing you're saying or you're talking about is really possible. In the 8th step, you want to make a case for them to use your product to solve that problem which you've showed them how to solve. And see, this is very important because I see a lot of SaaS, B2B and SaaS content pieces. They just write, and at the end of the day, they tell you to sign up for their newsletter. Like, if you're going to create a content piece that is telling people how to solve a problem, why do you end the content piece with inviting them to sign up for your newsletter? Like, I don't see the common sense in that. And that is one of the things I feel like so many SaaS companies and so many B2B companies are leaving on the table. So if you've been able to engage a reader using the steps I've talked about to this stage, it just makes common sense to tell them, hey, I've shown you how to solve XYZ, like sign up for the product and start solving it. And if you check today, most SaaS companies, they offer free trials. So that's a strong case for them to even start using your product. And then you end with a call to action. Like, end your content piece with a call to action. I'm not trying to be too salesy, but if you've shown someone how to solve their problem and you've engaged them for like 5 to 10 minutes, like, it just makes sense to tell them, okay, let's sign up and start using the product to solve your problem. Now, when you follow these 9 steps, this is what you get. Your content piece changes into a funnel of its own. And this is the reason you saw red in the first 3 steps, yellow in the second, and green in the last. We've always been, we grew up, I as someone who started marketing with HubSpot inbound marketing processes, we learned that, customers has to be aware, they need to consider before they make a decision. But the truth is, in reality, and I'm putting that question across to us, how many times do you go and read a content piece from a company, go back and read another one and indicate that you're making a consideration, go back and read another one and tell them you're making a decision? A content piece can move people from awareness to try. It just depends on how you create that content piece. So every content piece we create, what we want to do is, we want to know, is this query or this question we're trying to answer, is this content piece, what will be more suited for it? Is it a top of the funnel content? Well, whatever it is, we still approach it the same way. We want to attract and filter who the content is for and who is not for. We want to engage and show them, and then we want to persuade and convert them. Like, I just invite you to apply this what I'm talking about today in your work, because it works. Like, it works. And so this is what happens when you do this. So wherever, let me go back to the last slide. So look at this. This product-led storytelling and this way of writing for SaaS companies and using it to acquire customers with content isn't limited to, say, ranking your content on Google. If it ranks, great. But you just have to know, where are my customers? Where can I find them? And once you know where you can find them, you create your content piece and just ensure there's eyeballs on it. Like the first example I showed you, the project, we are still on it. This company has no ranking whatsoever yet on Google. So what we do is, we know that their target audience are in niche communities, and they have an email list of about 1,000 users. So we create content knowing that those are the places that they are going to find this content, and it's been working. So this is what the process looks like. Your ICPs, which is the first thing I talk about, they are always online looking for how to solve their problem. So you craft your content using this formula and show them how to solve whatever that problem is, where they can find you. The next thing is, once you engage them, and once these ICPs are engaged, once you do this first step, they will be engaged, and they will, because they've learned how to solve whatever problem that is. Now you use product-led stories to engage them and show them how to solve that problem with your product, not just telling them so many theories and all that. And when you do this, what happens is that they will love what they see, and they'll be willing to start signing up and solving your problem or booking a demo. This will work very well for you if you have a free trial in your product, because if you've shown me how to solve my problem, walk me through the steps. Like it's a no-brainer for me to want to sign up. So just a little bit of another like testimonial to show you that if you apply the steps here, it's gonna work. So this another like feedback we get. Like we get this in all the time. Where someone will say, hey, I read your content piece somewhere and I want you to work. And is it possible for you to work with us? So that's it. Thank you for your time. There are so many things I could put into this slide. So I have a 7,000 word article that walks you through the process of creating the strategy and then applying this process to your business. It's going to be dropped in this. Morgan is going to drop it for you. Just go in. It's free to read. It's just a blog post. Go in, read it, ask me questions, shoot me any questions you can ask on LinkedIn, or reach me at victor@victoreduoh.com. So that's my slide. That's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor. Morgan dropped the link to your article in the chat here. Question: can you use this product-led storytelling only in content marketing, or can it be used elsewhere as well?
Well, it can be used everywhere, like both in copywriting and email, in even sending cold emails or whatever it is. I don't consider this a kind of shiny strategy or something. I consider it logic and common sense. People want to solve a problem. You have a way of showing them how to solve the problem. Don't just go there and theorize it. Show them how to do it with your service or your product. It's simple.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the insight. Victor, we can find you on LinkedIn, and you're on Twitter as well, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you.